Welcome to another episode in which I review a piece of interesting technology related to artificial intelligence. This time it is a little website that was sent to me by my friend Laura, who knows I am a little bit of a geek when it comes to AI, and she frankly is too. It's an app called How Normal Am I? Experience how artificial intelligence judges your face. Access to your camera is necessary, but no personal data is collected. I agreed to the terms and conditions, of course. Created with support from the European Union. Interesting. Okay, let's start the show.
So let's talk about your face. Specifically, we'll be looking at machine learning algorithms that try to judge your face. By giving access to your camera,
Loading face recognition for ugly people. Not really necessary in your case.
you'll be able to experience these algorithms yourself. But don't worry, everything will run locally in your own browser. No data is sent to the cloud in any way.
May I ask how old you are? 30.
At the end of the experience, you will be able to share some anonymous data with us if you want, but it's totally up to you. The first algorithm we'll look at is designed to judge the beauty or attractiveness of your face. It will give you a score between 0 and 10. Having some idea of how attractive you are can be very valuable. For example, dating services like
Oh, come on, fuck that. What? 5.8. Definitely not. This is broken.
dating services like Tinder use it to match people who are about equally attractive. Some social media companies, such as TikTok, are known to promote content from attractive people more. To make an algorithm like this, you need to train it using tens of thousands of example photos that each already have a beauty score.
6.
Rating all these photos is
What?
often done by students at universities. If you ask Chinese students to give their opinions, their cultural perceptions of beauty will transfer over into the algorithm, which might lead to unpredictable effects when it's used to judge people from other cultures. I wanted to show you an example of this, but I couldn't even get the algorithm to detect black people's faces properly. If you have a low score, it might just be because the judgment of these algorithms is so dependent on how they were trained. Of course, if you got a really high score, that's just because you are incredibly beautiful.
That alone is interesting, isn't it? When you consider that your beauty may actually affect how popular you're going to be across various social media that you may be participating on. So there's a lot to be said about how Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever else, algorithms decide to push our content to our followers. I think it's no mystery to say that, not all your friends are being shown your posts, only the ones that the algorithm believes that may be interested in your content. But curious it is to think when these algorithms could be looking at our beauty score and only decide to push the content from the more beautiful people across the board. Something to keep in mind, I guess. Yeah. Actually, my score then would explain a lot why I'm getting so little views on my various social media.
Next, let's look at an algorithm that's designed to judge your age. And what you'll see here, as well as with many others, is that if you move your head around, you'll be able to influence the outcome quite a bit. Some stores use these algorithms to learn more about their visitors. They can also be used to guess who might be lying about their age on dating websites. If you happen to share your age bracket earlier, we can now figure out whether or not you are a liar.
Yeah, it didn't work.
The following algorithm we'll take a look at
close
tries
enough.
to determine your gender. Here you can once again see that the
I'm a
country
man.
or culture
Yeah.
in which an algorithm was constructed can have a big influence on how it will categorize and judge people. This algorithm would probably flip out at the gay pride. Our next algorithm on the menu tries to determine your body mass index, or BMI, from just looking at your face.
Okay.
To make an algorithm like this, you'll once again need thousands of photos of people that are tagged with their body mass index. In practice, I found that the required data is often simply scraped from the internet. For example, some researchers who work at Google took these pictures from online communities where people share their weight loss progress. A lot of these algorithms work by first measuring 7 proportions in your face. One of these is calculated by measuring the area above your eyes, which is why you can get a lower score by raising your eyebrows. By connecting to this website, you also shared your IP address, and that was used to guess where you are. Now that we have your gender, your age, your country of origin, and the BMI prediction, we can combine these and try to create a life expectancy prediction. These types of predictions are essentially created by stacking educated guesses on top of each other, which makes the result even more imprecise. However, that doesn't stop insurance agencies from purchasing these types of predictions, because to them it's better than nothing.
Although, yeah, the fact that an insurance company would try to base their decisions on this type of data because it's better than nothing is ridiculous. Like, one thing I remember from learning statistics is that it's better to be oblivious and not know than rely on incorrect predictions. So it makes little sense to try to go with any predictions we can get. I mean, I guess maybe their accuracy is a lot better than this particular app. But yeah, just going with the mentality of let's just get something because it's better than nothing, oftentimes is actually quite a bad idea. Sometimes it is better to just go with nothing and try to guess blindly. And that will give you better results than relying on some badly collected data that just uses some weird biased algorithms that are not even trained on your particular data group, right? Anyway.
Won't you come a little closer? Don't take this the wrong way, but you have a very unique face. That's why, just like you have a fingerprint, you also have a face print. This is usually expressed in 128 numbers. This face print makes it possible to recognize you wherever you go. For example, Russian company FindFace offers a service where you can take a picture of a stranger and then it will try to find the social media profiles that belong to that person. Similarly, an American company called Clearview AI allows police officers to upload a photo and then it will show a list of all the web pages where it found the same person. You can now buy security cameras that have this capability built in. For example, in the United States, the pharmaceutical chain Rite Aid used these cameras to recognize people who had previously shoplifted them.
Yeah, that's funny, right? Because at the same time, it sounds like a good idea when you think, hey, great, shoplifters could be prevented from accessing a store. And you could only think of what other potentially useful, options from this kind of technology could come from. But at the same time, having someone taking a picture of you in a restaurant and then being able to track you down on Facebook or Instagram or some other social media like the VK in Russia is creepy and is just wrong. Yeah, that's definitely going to make stalking a little bit easier. Don't know.
By the way, you didn't actually need to get closer to the camera for this to work. A small thumbnail is enough. I just want to see if you do it. I also have to admit something. While this website was loading, I secretly recorded your emotional reaction when the little puppy was shown. This was done using an algorithm that tries to determine your emotional state based on your facial expressions. A company called HireVue offers online video interviewing tools. They claim to be able to find the best job applicants by analyzing their facial expressions, voice, and vocabulary. This practice has been criticized for giving a lot of credence to algorithms, but at the same time making it very hard to know what people are actually being judged on.
And that is just complete bullshit in my opinion. Whilst I understand that there can be some help coming from AI, to have an algorithm judge candidates based on their performance is just, if you got it extremely well, then maybe this could be a good idea. But a slightest amount of bias in the training of these algorithms makes it radical and just systematically will make it more difficult for particular types of candidates to make it through. Just because I may be an introvert, right, shouldn't mean that I'm not as capable to fulfill a particular role in particular company. But I bet that, a lot of recruiters, when they will go and use this kind of an algorithm, they will go like, oh yeah, we would love all of our employees to be friendly and passionate and, engaged in work. So the more you smile, the more excited you look, the higher score you're going to get, which is fantastic. And we're going to go and work in companies when everybody's speaking to each other like that. Super, super fun, isn't it? Oh my goodness, what a horrible idea. Horrible idea. I think it's really, really good that they highlight it in this particular application.
As a bonus, for the last few minutes, your surfing behavior has also been recorded. You may not realize it, but a lot of websites have little bits of code from companies such as Visual Website Optimizer and Hotjar embedded into them. This makes it possible to record your mouse movements, as well as any text you may have entered into forms. These services can help improve how a website functions, but it also means a large amount of behavioral data is being collected by these third parties.
Wow.
As you probably realize, your data is increasingly collected and combined to create all kinds of predictions about you. By comparing your data to that of others, you can be placed in all kinds of categories. These profiles are not just used to show you better advertisements, but they are starting to impact all kinds of aspects of your life, ranging from getting cheap car loans or insurance to finding a job or even a date. While you can try to protect yourself from this tracking online, where for example you can delete your cookies, this is much harder when it comes to your face, which you can't really delete. That's why this type of biometric tracking is much more inescapable and can feel much more constricting. As face recognition technology moves into our daily lives, it can create this subtle but pervasive feeling of being watched and judged all the time. We might feel more pressure to behave normally, which for an algorithm means being more average. That's why we have to protect our human right to privacy, which is essentially our right to be different. You could say that privacy is our right to be imperfect. So we have to be very careful when implementing this technology. As with all new innovations, it comes with great stories of how it can improve our lives in the short term. But with biometric systems, we have to be very careful and really think through what it could do to people and society in the long term if, bit by bit, we allow this surveillance culture to develop.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's have a look. So this is a table that breaks down our result today. So my interaction with this particular site. There is how many categories? 1, 2, 3, 11 categories. And it gives me the score for what I have done as compared to what most of the others would have done, and whether I am falling into a normal category or not. So first of all, have we read the terms and conditions? No. And 93% of people haven't either. Have we shared our age? Yes, we have. Then we were scored for our beauty, which is completely skewed. And let's just be honest, that is not even true. Come on. Yes. So we were scored based on our beauty, which, well, quite frankly, I did not fall into normal, as you can imagine. Yeah, abnormally beautiful. Age of 28, well, that was pretty close. Whether I lied about my age? No, and 63% of people don't lie about their age. My gender was evaluated as man. My BMI, I managed to skew up. So at the beginning, it was falling in a range of something like 20, 21, but then I tried to, and I managed to bring that value a little bit higher up. Later on, life expectancy 74, well, that's interesting as well, because obviously I'm not permanently from where I'm right now in Southeast Asia. Did I come closer? And I was marked as good boy because I did come a little bit closer when I was prompted to. And my expression when observing a little puppy was sad. And I believe that's just simply because at the time you're just trying to figure out what's going on, and most of us are just like looking at a camera. And I don't really understand that interactions side. I guess I was looking around the page a lot. Is that what this is about? I don't know. So finally, we can say, will we allow the anonymous data in the list above to be used to calculate a new average? All right, fair enough. So we can share our result to kind of affect the average that is being calculated. It will shift what this test considers to be normal in your direction. Fantastic. Yep, 11 out of 5.8 out of 10. Sorry, 11 out of 10. All right, I think we can totally do that. Let's support them by saying, okay. I am 67% normal. I am averagely normal. That's offensive. Not in a bad way, don't worry. But yeah, I'm averagely normal. What happens when you're 100% normal? Like you're the normalest of normal? I guess obviously this is just taking an average of all these, answers to the right. But that's what we got. How normal am I was made possible with support of the European Union through the Sherpa project. How Normal Am I was developed by Themenship. Check out the references and sources or the press release with images. That's it. Interesting, isn't it? Like, I think websites like these are fantastic because, well, they make AI available to a slightly wider public, and they expose what AI is being used these days, apart from apps such as, Face App or Instagram filters or TikTok or what else you may be familiar with already. It also is nice because, it highlights in what way AI can be scary these days when you think about it. On one hand, it is good that, maybe we can increase our privacy, our security using some of these algorithms, but at the same time, the ways in which it can be judging us, kind of slowly start crossing the line of being inappropriate and scary. Naturally, we could, dive a lot deeper into this subject and, get a lot more political. As you probably know, some governments already abuse this technology quite substantially, but for now, let's not go that direction and just focus on what we see. Nevertheless, I think it's a super cool app, kind of showcasing what AI is capable of these days and highlighting some of the, warning signs along the way, and showing why we should be a little bit more concerned about it. So I've got nothing left to do but to recommend you head on over to How Normal Am I. In fact, the website is hownormalami.eu, and try to figure out how normal are you. Hope you enjoy using it. Averagely normal, seriously. I'm averagely not normal. Look at my beauty score. Stupid. Well.